Guys, El Fuego is in the house. So we are ready to get this party started. We're going to be talking about amp wire, battery wire, wiring in general, batteries in general, all kinds of stuff that has to do with getting power to your amplifiers and getting power from your amplifiers to your subwoofers so you can make the bass, baby. Let's get it going. Let's go. Let's go.
Hit the chill back and you stand up, stand up. Start to move your body with your hands up, hands up. Rock it to and fro while they coming through the door. Now they leaning on the bar with the cans up, cans up. Hit the flow fast and you back up, back up. DJ got it lit, turn the track up, track up. Moving side to side, feel the rhythm start to ride. Now they stepping to the beat, never slack. Just how low can you go? Can you go? Can you drop it right down to the floor, to the floor? With a body like a demon, make the men start screaming. Then you turn to the crowd, let them know. Ooh, how far down can you go? Can you go? Can you lay it right down on the floor, on the floor? With the body like a demon and the men still screaming. Then you turn to the crowd, let them know, let them know, let them know, let them know, let them know. Lights turn low when they line up, line up. Shorty got the vibe, time to wind up, wind up. Everybody moving when the bass line hit, and the whole damn place gonna bind up, bind up. Bass hit hard and they jump up, jump up. Hands in the air, let it pump up, pump up. Moving left and right when the hook come tight. Everybody in the house shit. Just how low can you go? Can you go? Can you drop it right down to the floor, to the floor? With a body like a demon, make the men start screaming. Then you turn to the crowd, let them know. Ooh, how far down can you go? Can you go? Can you lay it right down on the floor, on the floor? With the body like a demon and the men still screaming. Then you turn to the crowd, let them know, let them know, let them know.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. So, man, y'all are going to have to bear with me a little bit tonight because the last like 3 days, I've gotten maybe 9 hours of sleep total. So I'm even more scatterbrained than normal tonight, and really tired. I've been having to sleep sitting up. So there's that. The good times just never freaking end. But and I'm also pretty congested tonight, which has been the problem, fluid in the lungs, all that good stuff. So we're going to be coughing all that up tonight. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Of course, El Fuego is already in the house from the Pacific Northwest. Joe Berserker's in the house. D. Hermanson's in the house. And Dubby's down here in the house also. And there's a few others that hadn't shown up in the chat, but that's all good. Some people like to listen. Some people like to talk. It's all good. Today, I spent the day. If you guys watched one of the last videos I put up with the SPL meters, if you were paying close attention, you would have noticed a little Trunk Thunder Lithium logo in the background. There's some different batteries that were sitting on the table behind that meter. Those are now in the Tahoe. So we've been out there, me, Chris, and Josh. Josh showed up toward the end. Been out there fighting the good fight, trying to get that done. And so, yeah, we've got, I guess, like 185 amp hours now, something like that. The Diet Coke count? I don't even know, dude. You know what? I drank two things. I drank three things. Occasionally I drink milk, and more often I drink sweet tea, and it's really sweet tea. And then primarily it's Diet Coke. I don't drink any water hardly ever. It's just who I am and how I grew up on Coke, right? I mean, Coca Cola. I was literally, when I was a baby, I was weaned off of my bottle on Coca Cola and Budweiser. And I don't mean Bud Light. I mean straight up the old good red and white one, Budweiser. I had the first thing I ever had to drink besides milk and baby formula was Budweiser. Yes, um, my dad was crazy. So there's that. You met him when you meet me. I'm the same crazy psycho person he was. But yeah, I grew up on that stuff, and I never was a thing for water. I drink Budweiser and Coca Cola for years, and then my mom switched to Diet Coke because she was trying to lose weight, and I got hooked on Diet Coke, and now anything besides Diet Coke tastes like complete and utter shit. Like I can't stand regular Coke. It makes me throw up as soon as I take a sip of it. Way too sweet. So yeah, tangent. We're good. Uh, so how is El Fuego? Fuego is apparently up and kicking because he's teasing me about the Diet Coke stuff. Um, Joe Berserker says still designing the perfect enclosure. Uh, Dude, I'm learning again because things changed a lot, over the years. The last time I was designing enclosures, it was back in the 90s, and there was no software. And there was no software at all. You had to draw stuff out. There wasn't even hardly, it was hard to get specs on the speaker. So it was a lot trickier to build back then. It was a whole lot of, if you know, and you had a good idea of about how many cubic feet of airspace you needed and all that stuff. But it was a whole lot of math and paper math and stuff like that. And I mostly built seal boxes because there wasn't enough room in the stuff that I was doing, putting boxes in to have a ported enclosure. I was building like almost exclusively boxes for trucks that would go behind the seat of a single cab truck. And so I had to figure out how to get that subwoofer in there. And there weren't no thin subs either. It was like big old, of course the subs weren't nearly as big, but they were triangular shaped and you had to fit that sucker in there. I had some pretty creative ways that I got subwoofers in trucks. One of them was creating the shell. So basically how this worked is you got your baffle. You cut your baffle that's going to fit on the angle behind the seat, right? And you got it figured out exactly where it was going to go behind the seat. Just a baffle. So one single piece of plywood or MDF. That was working back then too. And then you would get it lined up with the seat, and you figure out where in that area the deepest part of that angle was, because the baffle would be like this, right? And you figure out where in that area that deep part was, and that's where you'd center up to get your subwoofer in, because the subwoofer magnet would literally be right there, right? Barely fitting. So then you'd cut out and mount your subs in this baffle. You put the baffle back in there and you position it around and make sure that the magnet's clearing everywhere. And then you bring it back out and you got to cut the little triangle piece, right? The triangle piece would go from the baffle to the bottom of the cab and then to the back of the cab. So you'd get that piece drawn out, you pull it out and cut that piece, glue and screw that piece to the baffle. So now you've got the triangle sides and a baffle, and there's no any other part. Then you get some real heavy, like that cushiony weather stripping stuff, glue that and screw that to the back of that triangle piece in the bottom, and you put it back in there, and this time you compress that material, push it down, and you used self-tapping screws to pull everything to the metal of the truck, and you literally used the back of the cab and the bottom of the cab as the back and bottom of the box. That was one of the tricks, and that was to put the most possible sub in the least possible space. And building that weird contraption actually took a lot longer than building an actual box, because you had an already existing floor which was like ribbed, and the back that was ribbed, and you had to kind of cut things to fit around all of that. It was a real process. Um, and at the time, we were doing some pretty bonkers stuff. You could have used fiberglass, but nobody had. I mean, I didn't have any real experience with fiberglass at that time. So there was lots of options, but you wanted the maximum amount of airspace, and the cab of those trucks was made a lot sturdier. That metal was strong; it wouldn't vibrate. It held pressure good. The hardest part was to make it seal, to get it to seal up to the cab, and to get it to get the maximum baffle area. So your sub would literally be sitting right against the damn seat. But again, all we had was single cab trucks. It was hard to get anything back there, and people wanted bass. You know, all these young, 16 to 20 something year old kids were, had their first truck or their second, whatever, and they wanted the bass, and so they like, oh, go see Gary, he can do it, and then I'd come over there and I'd tell them, you're going to bring me a couple sheets of MDF and the glue and the screws and all that, and I'd go to work and I get, I get the stuff done, and I liked using the JLW3s and just about everything. That was my go-to sub, the W3, the old JLW3s. They were basically a really good, dependable driver that was not very expensive and could handle, 500 watts nicely and could play really, really low in the sealed enclosure. That's why I really enjoyed messing with those subs. They were just really good all around subwoofers. Um, in fact, I had a pair of 15W3s forever. Let's see what's going on here. D. Herman said, I'm having an eggnog. Eggnog. I never had an eggnog. I don't even know what eggnog is. It's got eggs in it and some booze, I think. Or at least everybody that I know always had some kind of booze in it. But uh, something with egg and milk and buttermilk, or I don't know. Never got my attention. But I also don't like, the fancy Starbucks coffee or any of that kind of stuff. I don't like mostly. I don't like drinks that are food. Does that make any sense? I'm not usually a big fan of that. I do like a cup of hot chocolate every once in a while. I can get down with that. And some chocolate milk. Yeah, I can straight up hurt some chocolate milk with a little splash of rum. Yeah, that figures. Let's see here. Hey, yeah, man, slap that like button. I don't know. I don't have the little counter like Andy does. Let's see here. Oh, I can smoke Trump and a Diet Coke drink off, dude. There ain't nobody can keep up with me on a Diet Coke drink off. No. No, Trump ain't got no win with me. I'll make him squeal like a little bitch. See, Tubby. Oh, the truck box thing. Yeah. What's up, Rick Ross? Yeah, it worked. I mean, it's like the real hardcore box people are going to be like, oh man, that's crappy. Uh, it worked. I don't know what to tell you. We'd come up with all kinds of different ways to attach it, with like lag bolts, those sheetrock bolts. The ones that you put, like you punch a hole in the sheetrock, and then you run the thing through there, and then when you start screwing it in, it opens up and comes back and presses against it. Shit like that would work quite well, because you need to be able to put quite a bit of pressure on it to clamp it down. But it works great, man, as long as you can get it to seal up. The hardest part is getting the cuts good. Getting the cuts good enough to where the material that you're putting in there can smash in and take up the rest of the room. You could also do it with, back then we had Liquid Nails, and F26. That was F26 was basically PL3. PL Max 3 is what it was. It was the same basic stuff. You could do it like that, but understand that that was a forever thing. So I did never recommend it. Though there was some people that did. I'm like, yeah, no, I'll pass. Because the bulk of everybody built sub boxes with MDF. Nobody used plywood, like nobody. Plywood didn't start becoming a thing until I guess the mid 2000 singles, like 5, 6, somewhere like that, 2005 or 6. The 90s, you just didn't, you built bigger boxes out of MDF. That was what you always used. Everybody hated it because it gets wet, it goes to crap. MDF's got its advantages and a ton of disadvantages. I like working with it in a way that you can shape it. It's really easy to shape, and it's really easy to plane, to sand, to route, to cut. It performs well in all those metrics. It's super easy to build with. It's dense. It has no lateral or characteristics that, it's not stronger in one way than it is the other. It's very consistent. Downsides is it's basically a sponge. It soaks up water like instantly, and it ruins the wood when it does it. It's very damn heavy. It makes tremendous amount of very, very fine, nasty sawdust that gets everywhere, including in your lungs. But you give what you get. So, yeah, we can go on and on and on. Itchy fiberglass. I've never been a fiberglass scratcher. They always made me do all the fiberglass installation whenever we were doing drywall work and doing remodels. I was always voluntold to be the guy that go in there and get neck deep in fiberglass because it never bothered me. Some people just absolutely, they just go crazy. But it didn't bother me at all. I could go in there and wade around in the stuff, rub it in my hair. It didn't matter. I didn't have any issues with it. Just one of those odd traits, man. Rick Ross said, I'm late, but I'm here. SPL. Oh, no. See, you're trying to put me against somebody. Against MBE, huh? No, I'm not going to go into an SPL build off. I ain't got that youth no more. And besides that, I don't want to compete against anybody in the build off. But I appreciate your confidence in me, my friend. Bobby B finally showed up. See, I knew he'd eventually come in here. You feeling any better, Bobby? Did you work that Rona out of your system? So Matt said, I'm thinking about the Little Banger 5K. My alternator is a pain to get at. Yeah, that's a solid choice to do that. And really, Lithium just sorts an alternator so damn well. You got a factory alternator, a good Lithium bank can really, really get the full potential out of a factory alternator because it allows more power in. It's like your AGM batteries have a C rating of like a half a C, like 0.5 C or 0.3 C. So if it's a 100 amp hour battery, that's like 30 to 50 amps is what can go in. So no matter how big of an alternator you have, you can only shove in 30 to 50 amps constantly. It just won't take any more, which means it can't continuously put out any more than that. That's why AGMs, you need like 20 of them to do anything because of the throughput. It's not about the capacity. They have tons of capacity, but they can't take power very fast, which means they can't keep putting it out. They'll drain real quickly. So that's why AGMs are going to the way of the dodo birds. But using lithium allows your alternators, whatever it can put out, to actually be absorbed. And it may not be much more than that, but And it also allows the power to come out constantly too. So it really opens up that alternator and lets it breathe, lets it actually do something. That's why I said that the first thing you want to do is put a lithium battery back there somewhere by your amplifier. That's going to sort you out for a long ways. Like that Banger 5K can handle 5,000 watts by itself easy with a stock alternator. And there's not any AGMs that could even remotely get close to that. You're looking at least 5 or 6 big AGMs to get in the ballpark of being able to handle that. And that same battery with a high output alternator will handle a 10,000 watt system. So, dude, it's a huge. I mean, the upgrade. You know when you put that battery in your vehicle, you go in there and do all the things you normally do, and it changes everything. The voltage just stays so solid, and the headlights stay bright, and all that stuff. It changes the whole way it sounds. The bass has got more impact and louder. It's immediately louder. It's like you can't go wrong, dude. That's one of those things that when you do it and you immediately start using the system, you see and you hear and you feel the difference instantly. It's very noticeable. It's not a thing where you go, I don't know, man. Maybe no. You know, you just put a hellified system together. Poker said, I have a single cab and I'm trying to make a 4th or 6th in my bed. Yeah, you're going to do like a blow through, I guess. Blow through is cool, man. Do your research though. Make sure you do your research. And I guess you'd probably be doing like a 4th where you got 2 subs on each side, sill chamber on each side, then a common chamber that runs up to the back of the cab, and then have your port there. If you're going to do, honestly, you said you didn't say how many subs, but if you're going to do a blow through, I would do a 6th order. You're going to get more out of the 6th order. Just saying. That front port's going to be weird, and it may not be optimal, and you're not going to get. Like if you run a 4th, when you run a 4th, you're basically going to have a sealed enclosure with a chamber that goes into the cab. That's essentially what it's going to end up being. You're not going to be able to get that open chamber up in the back of the cab as big. You may not be able to get it as big as you need it to really get a tune out of it. And a 6th is going to give you a lot more lows, and you're going to like that sound better. It's going to be harder to build, but you'll be happy about it, especially if you're using a chunk of bed space. You got plenty of room. I would do a 6th. Oh yeah, 3/4 marine plywood. Oh yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. That's what everybody wants to use today because it's a whole lot lighter. It's extremely rigid and strong. There's a big difference. I mean, I use low grade plywood to build with because it's budget friendly. But there is a substantial difference in the amount of rigidity. Everybody needs to know about the rigidity. There is a very substantial difference in the amount of rigidity between 3/4 inch, generic like roofing plywood and like mini layer thick 3/4 inch birch marine plywood. If you stack the two of them up together and put a ton of weight on one and then a ton of that same amount, you'll see the difference. It's dramatic. That marine grade plywood, that heavy many layers, like 11 layers or 9 layers or whatever, that all those layers, it has no voids in it. The wood's all hardwood. It is tough. It has like no give. It's like putting a piece of metal down. And then you turn around and put a piece of the cheaper plywood down beside it. The same scenario, and there's no comparison. So while I will use that cheap plywood and make it work, that marine grade stuff, and you can't beat it. if you can afford it, or if you got lucky and you got it for cheap or free. It's good stuff. Bobby said, "Hell no!" Oh my goodness. Joseph, what's up, man? Eric Smith, late again, but I'm here, baby. I'm always here. I have no choice. This is what I do. This is where I live. All right. Bobby said, "Hell no." Fuego said, "Fuego," or about Berserker said, "Fuego." I agree. Let's see here. If it's too loud, if Adrian said, if it's too loud, you're too old. Bobby B tried to work on my build today, but my body said different. Yeah, no shit. But so I lost track. See, I get off on around rabbit holes and squirrel holes and chasing the T Corley. What's up, man? All of that nonsense. Uh, Dean Hernison said, "I wish I could do lithium." Uh, you can get away with it, man. If it don't get below negative 32 degrees when you're jamming your system, you're golden. You're Gucci. But what I did today was, okay, so I have I had a Trunk Thunder Lithium version 1, 10K of 10K version 1, Little Banger 10K version 1 in my Tahoe. And I have been running, first I was running a Slapz 8K, and then I was running at 1 ohm, and then I was running 2 Slapz 8Ks at 2 ohms each. One on each sub, 2 subs, 2 sets, at 2 ohms. And then that battery had no problem keeping up with all of that. Then we went to 2 8Ks at 1 ohm each, which is 16,000 watts. You're looking at 1,500 amp pulls, shit like that, or more. 1,700, 1,800 amps. It was still keeping up with that, the single 10K. But whenever I went to do a full power burp, where I was doing a tone run for like 15 seconds or whatever, no, that was too much. And the voltage was dipping. But I was pulling the 1,700, 1,800 amps constantly. And that's what it took to finally, on that one little battery, to finally make it dip voltage. So I was like, okay. But I got a hold of one of my friends who also has some Trunk Thunder lithium batteries. He had 2 of the version 2s, which have the same cells as the version 3s. The differences between them is essentially the bars and how the bars are done, how they're assembled, and the casing. The casing and the bars are different, but the cells are the same. So I got a hold of 2 of those, and we're gonna. Not gonna. It's sitting in the Tahoe right now. I've got a video, a whole lot of video. It's not done. I haven't even started editing it. My phone died today when I was trying to record. So yeah, I have a lot of video to edit, and I still got a lot more to do. But the 2 Trunk Thunder Lithium 10K V2s are about to be powering the Tahoe, and I haven't turned it on yet. I haven't turned the system on yet. I'm saving that for the video. I will be videoing when I turn it on the first time with the new batteries. So y'all get it. I got to go get some lugs. I ran out of lugs today, and I couldn't find. I got a bag of lugs somewhere, and I have no idea where they are. You guys know I'm a disaster area when it comes to organization. But I got to get some lugs. I got to build about 6 more ground wires, I think, and some more shit. I got to look it over. I can't remember, but I got to build at least 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 ground wires and I got to pull lugs out of my ass for that. But yeah, we're going to make shit happen. It's going to be good. You guys you're going to love it. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, I definitely don't want the weight of several AGMs either. Yeah, no kidding, dude. That little battery that my buddy Chris has got my 10K version one, and it was funny when I took it out of the Tahoe. I reached down and grabbed the battery with my hand, the top, palmed it, picked it up, and handed it to him. And he's like, "It looks like a lawnmower battery or something. It's really small. Um, it's like about half a battery, half. You know, if you cut a car battery in half long ways, kind of about like that, like a Group 31 cut in half long ways. It's something about like that. The version ones, they were really small, and we went and put it in his Tahoe. He fired it up, and his eyes got huge because he could immediately hear the impact of the bass, and the bass holding. And he goes and dives in there and looks at his voltage, and you can see him laughing. He thought it was hilarious because his voltage was just sitting. It was just sitting at 13 volts, like it wouldn't move from there. And I told him, I said, "You ain't gonna believe it when you see it, you know." And he didn't. He was like, "Holy crap!" He was cranking it up more and waiting for the voltage to drop. But just right there at 13, man, that's good times. Uh, he's running 8,000 watts on his subs and some more amps on his mids and highs. Tyler said, "What's up, guys?" Um, D. Hernison, I don't have a problem with my AGMs. That's cool. You know, it's all good. It's a matter of how much power you need, and whether and how much space you have for batteries. AGMs are big and they're heavy, but people use them for years, man. Car audio, but you essentially need anywhere from 6 to 10 for anything remotely close to getting big anymore. You can't even start to do stuff unless you have 6 or 8 of them to start, and they're every bit of 100 pounds a piece. For like the Group 31s. But if you guys are wanting AGMs and you're trying to save money, um, you can go to any trucking company in your area, find one, and whenever they put batteries in the trucks, they always put a set of 4 in. And when they have a bad battery, they pull all 4 batteries out and then put 4 new batteries in. They never just replace one bad battery. So there's usually at least 2, but maybe 3 batteries that are 100% on point. And then they turn around and they sell those back to the company that they buy their batteries from for like $20 or $25 a piece. If you get in good with them, you can pay that scrap price for them and get batteries like that all day. But they're big old, chunky Group 31 AGMs. They're a box of lead. You know what I'm saying? So you can get them, and that's going to be a whole lot less expensive than trying to go buy them anywhere. You can also hit up Interstate. Interstate often sells batteries really cheap that are reconditioned, and you can get batteries there really cheap too. The AGMs won't be that cheap, but they will be cheaper there than you will be for a new one. D said, "I got 3 AGMs and an Ultra Cap on a Shock 8K. Let's see. Yeah, you're probably not getting all your power out of that Shock 8K. Have you chanced to run a BassHead Garage watt meter on it to see if you're actually pulling? Because like 3 AGMs and the Ultra Cap, the AGMs are only going to allow for about 150 to 200 amps, maybe out of those 3. That's kind of in the ballpark. Which would, efficiently give you about 2,000 watts of constant pull, and then the Ultra Cap will help. You're probably getting I think you're probably getting 4,000 or so is where you're going to probably be, somewhere in that range. Then you got to add the alternator to it, unless you got a high output alternator. So maybe 4,000 to 5,000 watts and that's really giving it a lot more credit than it's due. Probably closer to 4,000. But here's the thing though, whenever you're at full box rise, full impedance rise, if you're wired to 1 ohm and you get pretty good normal amount of rise, you're usually rising to like 3.5, 4 ohms. At that point, you're only going to be pulling 2 to 4,000 watts. Um, that Slapz 8K, the Slapz Shock 8Ks at like 3.4 ohms of box rise are still making right at 5,000 watts if you're feeding it enough power. So you're probably might be seeing that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're only going to be pulling 400, 500 amps, and at that range. So you probably wouldn't notice it. It's not going to be a drastic difference, but it definitely is a difference. Uh, Tyler Walker said, I can attest. Just put in the 10K version 1 on a 110 stock alt. I hold 14 plus on 9.5K wired tuned to pull around 6. See what I'm saying, right? And it's like I said, there's no. It is what it is. The things just slam. All right. And I do apologize. I'm going to have to take a little quick break. I have. I need to go take a short break. I'll be right back. Y'all can watch this. Yeah. You guys know I ain't got no freaking sense. So D said, it's too cold in Maine. Yeah, you could run the trunk under lithium up there, man. Like I said on you earlier, it's rated for 32 degrees negative 32. Main thing is as the temperature gets really far down, it will lose efficiency. Anything really below freezing, it's going to start losing efficiency, meaning it won't put out as much power. It won't take in as much power. It's going to be choked up until it warms up, and then it'll be fine. But it doesn't fail catastrophically. That's the main thing. It's not going to, combust into flames. It's just not going to work as well. So that's the beauty of those particular cells. They're actually designed for the Siberian winters, the Chinese military. That's where they come from. That's their whole point in existing was the Chinese military. So they're designed to work in extremely cold weather and to still function. Um, oh, let's see. Whew. My, my wife gave me my meds earlier. One of those is a diuretic. So things start happening, the things start thinging. Joe Berserker said was reading Friday night. They have a sodium lithium batteries. Yeah, they're not quite ready yet. Sodium is a little sketch still. It's not sketch. It's actually solid, but it's not very good. It has a short life. It has all kinds of little weird things. They're working the bugs out. Sodium is the future, but it's going to be a few more years before it's going to become mainstream, and it's still going to be fairly expensive at first. Then it will slowly get cheaper over time. And I'd say within 4 or 5 years, it'll probably replace lithium as the car audio go to. But it's not there yet. And it's mainly going to be because it'll probably be cheaper, more readily available. It's still going to be heavier and bulkier than lithium. But for car audio guys, we just want power storage. I mean, these guys are stacking 10 to 20 AGMs in a vehicle. We don't care about a little extra bulk, a little extra weight. We just want good, reliable power storage, and it's going to be able to do that. But it's going to be a while before it's ready for that lifestyle. Yeah, 1,000 cycles and then up goes to 90%. Yeah, that's kind of the problem. White Rambo said, "What's up?" T. Corley's in the house. Blown fuse. Speaking of, oh man, Blown fuse said, "Just ordered my first SPL meter. Excited to measure my system for the week. 418s and B pillar wall, 99 Dodge van." Sir, that's going to do nasty things. But which one did you get? Did you get the mini SPL meter or the BassHead Garage SPL meter? I'm wanting to get a hold of one of those so I can test it and compare it to the mini SPL meter. Though the other day I did get a chance to compare the mini SPL meter to the big, the one they use at competitions. I can't think what it's called. The big one. And it was really close. It was actually a little bit low on the reading across the board, but where I had it positioned on my windshield was not optimal. So I had the real meter, the big boy meter, in the correct spot, and I had my meter up a little ways, as close as I could get it, but it was further out of the corner. It should have been reading a little bit lower than the other meter because of the position, and it did, and it was consistent, which tells me that little mini SPL meter is pretty much dead nuts. I think it's a great setup. I don't know about the BassHead Garage SPL meter. I haven't checked it against anything that I can I haven't got a chance to run one, but I do like the way it looks and I like the way it's set up. So I'm really interested in getting one of those. Poker said, "Yeah, I was thinking of 6 Slap 18s. Seem cheap and it ships to Hawaii." That's kind of hard to find. 6 18s in that truck. That's the whole bed of that truck. Like tailgate, that's the whole damn bed. And that's going to be tight to get that. I would think more like 4 18s, maybe 6 15s. Because 18s require a lot of airspace, man. A lot. And also they're going to be sticking up pretty high unless you got really, they're going to be coming up, pretty high as 18 inches. And then plus you're going to have, like 20 or 21 inches of baffle. That's a lot of vertical room. So yeah, I would say 15s would be maybe 615s would be pushing it, but I think that's what I would try to look at. I wouldn't even want to try to run 18s at all because of the fact that the baffle is going to be so tall. You know what I'm saying? The 15s are better suited, and I think I would probably consider 4 to 6 15s, depending on the airspace and all the design perimeters. But that's my input on it. Uh, but I'm gonna tell you, 615s in there would be sick as hell if you can make that work. I mean, I'm with you on that. Um, I'm either to 157. Bobby is tougher than COVID. No, he ain't. He's a little wimp. COVID's beating the hell out of his ass. Um, Rob Richards said, I beat her to 157.4 on the glass. Yes. At the show the other day, show today. Was hoping for more, but I'll take it. Hey, bro. A 57.4 is nasty. I ain't hit a 57 yet. The best I've got is a 56.8 in the kick. But I think that's about to change real soon once I get this batteries installed, because I'm not going to be dropping voltage no more, and that peak's going to go up. It's going to go up, baby. It's going to go up. Just saying. It is definitely going up. Slapz 18, crazy goodbye. You're damn right they are. 4-inch cool, yep. Also wanted a brand has no has. Oh yeah, no one has down here. Yeah. Well, Slapz is gaining momentum, man. DJ Dirty Bass is a dealer now, so he's actually picked them up. And of course, if you guys want to buy anything from DJ Dirty Bass, if you want to head over that way for anything, use discount code CAE, save money on everything Dirty Bass sells. And he's a great dude. He sells a whole lot of audio equipment, a lot of that stuff you can't really find in other places. He has it, as well as, of course, you got to have the pen drive. You got to have the buttload of music that he's done rebases on. So yeah, it's good stuff. It's all organized. It's the way to go. DJ Dirty Bass and discount code CAE. And he does sell Slapz now. My discount code will work for his Slapz sales. However, you won't save as much as you will if you go to Slapz and use the code there. Just saying. It's better savings for you. But beyond that, everything else, rock on. And I'm going to tell you guys, no matter where you're shopping for anything, it's getting to the point. Just try discount code CAE, and you're probably going to save money. The only one that's different for sure is Trunked Under Lithium. You use CAE 10 there. Let's see. Poker said I also want a brand. What else we got? Joe Slapz, best bang for your buck in this chat. For sure. 100%, my friend. Yeah, that Banger 10K, the version 1 or even the 5K version 1 or the 5K version 2, they're tiny batteries. They do not look like they should be doing anything. It's like, oh my God, this thing's a joke. Until you hook it up and use it. You could build the thing into your amp rack, dude. They're tiny. If you're running anything less than like a 12K, you're going. It's going to go like hell. I mean, you're not going to have any problems, even on a stock alternator. It's going to freaking bang. G-Body, what's up, man? Let's see here. I'm not going to lie. I want to go Lithium eventually. Yeah. You don't know. You don't know until you know. That's the truth. You don't know. You don't realize just how bad you really need it until you do. And then you're like, oh, shit, why did I do this forever ago? Because, I mean, it just sorts out so many crazy issues. The battery just sorts out so many problems. Like tons less wiring, because you're not wiring all these batteries together. Tons more power everything about them. They just work. Higher voltage, higher resting voltage, which means you're going to be able to pull power at a higher voltage from the battery, and you're going to be able to hold voltage higher, which means less amperage is getting pulled because you're pulling higher voltage, but you've got tons more amperage available. It's like everything just improves. Lightweight and space by itself, those are two huge wins. It's crazy stuff. What's the best sounding tweeters that will take some abuse? You know, guys, I have to be honest. I'm an honest person. I cannot be dishonest to my people. The best sounding tweeters, no shit, that I have heard ever, and I have run ever, and are tough as nails, are also really inexpensive, and they're the DS18 120 or the 120Bs. The DS18 T120 or the DS18 T120B. One's chrome and one's black. They're like $30 a set. They sound great, and they are tough. Like, yeah, tough as nails. That's the best buy out there for a set of tweeters. If you bang the crap out of your shit, they're going to 100% do it. And that's it. I have no discount codes for DS18. However, if you find those over on DJ Dirty Bass or at Big Jeff, you will get some savings if you use my discount code CAE. That's the honest truth. Now, having said that, Slapz does have a big old fat tweeter, and it does sound amazing. And they're also inexpensive. I think they're around $60 a set. I think. And then they're a 3.5-inch nasty tweeter. I don't know how tough they are. I've been running them for a while. They sound really, really good. But I can't speak on their durability yet because I haven't abused them yet. The DS18 T120s and 120B, I had beat the shit out of those. I did a whole lot of videos where I was running full signal to those tweeters, testing them. Full range signal on bass tracks. They were getting the whole thing. They never gave up during that. And then I had them in there and, putting 1,000 watts to that. I mean, I've literally beat the shit out of those tweeters, and they never gave up, and they sounded good doing it. So I'm impressed with them. Got excess, 1.5 ohm. Joe Berserker said UltraCap Maxwell 500 farad is good for 1600 amp draw for like 2 or 3 seconds. Yeah, that's true. Caps will give you the power instantaneously, and they can be charged virtually instantaneously as well, but they have no real storage of power. They just kind of slap it, and that's it. It's a slap. And I'm 99% sure I'm going to have 6 caps in this build. I ain't 100% yet, so it may not happen. I'm still working it over in my head, but I'm 99% sure I'm going to have a small cap bank in this build. So keep your eyes open. The one of the next videos will be coming up probably tomorrow, and then I don't know for sure on that either because I've got some more stuff to shoot. I'm not sure if I'm breaking it up into multiple videos or if it's just going to be one long video, but it's coming soon. The stuff that I've been working on is coming soon. So there. That's all I know for sure. Joseph. And I got to see his kid getting a hair trick in the video. It's awesome. It's awesome. And he said he has a hard time getting the kid on video. He's kind of video shy. That was a good clip, man. I switched to lithium and not going back. That's the thing. A real test will be this winter in the middle of Kentucky. Had over 400 amp hours with the AGM. Now I have 120 amp hours with lithium, and it was a big difference. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're going to have less amp hours of storage, but unless you're like sitting, unless you're like sitting in the parking lot playing with the car off, at like 500 watts or something for 6 or 7 hours straight, that would be good for AGMs. AGMs could do that. A bank of AGMs could do that all day. But if you're wanting to do the other stuff, to get stupid loud and all that, they just can't keep up with that. They run out of the gas real fast. They can do it badly for a long time, but they can't do it good for any length of time. And that's where the lithium comes in. Man. Um, as far as the winter goes, I don't think you're going to see any issues. Like I said, the performance will drop some when they're really, really cold. They'll take in less power, they'll kick out less power. They won't be as efficient, but they won't have any catastrophic fails. I need to get out of my red tops and put my XS 6500 and 34. See if it zips up a little bit. The more AGM batteries you put in, if you're doing AGMs, the more you put in, the better. The only problems, well, there's a bunch of problems, but let's say you've got room to put 40 AGM batteries in a vehicle. Okay, that's totally doable. Mostly, it'd be very heavy, but we don't care. We're bass heads. That's all. We sacrifice weight to the bass gods. We sacrifice everything to the bass gods because the bass gods need to be fed. Um, let's say you've got a huge AGM bank. So is it going to be able to handle putting out the power? Yes. You're going to have enough throughput with all those AGMs running together. You'll be able to get some reasonably good throughput. You could handle a 10,000 watt amp on, about 10 AGM batteries. Okay. The problems are, besides the fact that they're heavy and bulky and all that stuff, when you have that many batteries, the problem you still have is that your voltage rests at like 12.5 to 12.7. Okay. And so when your alternator kicks in, you're sending out however many amps in your alternator, right? You're charging, and then you turn the stereo on, and everything's going boom, boom, boom. Your alternator, as long as you're pulling less power than your alternators or alternators are creating, you're fine. Your voltage will stay up at 14, whatever you got your thing charging at. But the moment that you pull more power than what your alternators can actually actively provide, your voltage will immediately drop to the resting voltage of the batteries that they're trying to charge. So you're no longer be running 14.4 volts. You're going to drop straight down to 12.5 volts. Now, if you have a ton of AGM batteries, you may sit at 12.5 volts forever. As long as the alternator can have a boost of time to put some power back in, you'll be fine. But your problem is you're sitting at 12.5 volts. You're sitting at 12.1, 12.2, whatever. The batteries don't start playing ball until your voltage is already getting down real close to 12 volts. And the closer you get to 12 volts and below, the more amperage you have to pull to compensate. So that just makes the whole thing snowball and get worse. Keeping the voltage at a higher rate is better. That's why so many people are running 15.5 volt systems and 16.5 volt charging. It's because high voltage equals less amperage and the same amount of power. It's that simple. You can take a normal situation and normal equipment, as long as you have high voltage in your storage as well, right? Like you're running some C-Max pouches or whatever, right? And your voltage is high on your storage, you can keep that voltage high and it's rock solid. But without changing all your charging system up, we're running in that 12 to 14 volt range. That's AGM or a LiPo 4. So with the truck under lithium, 5K, 10K, or custom banks, your voltage is going to sit naturally rest at around 13.2 to 13.3. What that means is as soon as your 14.5 volt alternator is going, it's overrun, it's going to drop to 13.3 instead of dropping to 12.7. So now you're holding the voltage higher, which means you're pulling less current, and you've got more room in between you and that danger zone of 12 volts. You got more padding there. And now this is if you're running like 20 AGM batteries, right? Versus, 1 to 2 truck under lithium batteries. That's the difference. And the only advantage AGM gives you is because it operates badly in the cold too. That's why there's cold cranking amps. It doesn't perform well in the cold either. The only advantage you really get from an AGM battery is the sheer amount of storage it can handle. You can get a lot of long-term storage deep in there, but you can't get it out quickly or put it in quickly. It's just not designed for that. Let's see what's going on. So that's why, yes. That must have been when I was playing the video. And I agree, brother. That's why I send everybody to 2 places. Okay. Right now, it's because I know that Big Jeff also uses the same cells. He uses half of what's in a Trunk Thunder Lithium Banger 5K. He uses half those cells in his Big Jeff battery. So if you want what I would call a 2.5K battery, then the one at Big Jeff is going to be the better buy because it's only like $300. You're going to get half the battery for a little more than half the price. Okay. But if all you need is that, it's solid. And those are the same cells. It doesn't have the same bars or the same ridiculously tough case, but it's still a good, solid choice. And then, of course, Trunk Thunder Lithium for anything over that amount of power. That's the stuff I because I know the cells. I know that chemistry on those cells and the way those cells are designed. They're designed for cold weather. They're designed to fail. If they fail, they don't fail catastrophically. Basically, if you find a way to kill them, they'll smoke, smolder, fry, but not catch on fire. Okay. That's a catastrophic failure is fire. And they won't do that. They will, you can murder them. You can do bad shit to a battery and kill it. But these cells will take the abuse without giving you any flames. Okay. That's the important bit. And they're designed for the winter. They're designed for that Siberian North, which is cold, very, very cold. Poker said, I'm kind of new here. Does Gary own Slapz or just promote it? No, I don't own Slapz. And I just promote Slapz. And the reason I promote Slapz is because Slapz is badass. So I'm backwards to a lot of guys. I promote the stuff that I like. And I try my best to get discount codes and to get codes to work with all these companies that I like. Okay. It isn't the other way around. For example, he asked about the tweeters earlier, and I told you that's my favorite for high power, stupid, crazy stuff. Just get her done and keep working tweeter. The DS18 T120, because it's a freaking wicked good tweeter. Okay. Not because it makes me any money. I find stuff that I like. I work with people that I like, the companies that I like. And then I try to get a deal with them to help compensate for the work that I put into everything and to give me some money. I like money and I don't work anymore. This is my job. So I'm going to give you the same damn advice regardless. But, and whenever I can work a deal where I can actually get paid whenever you buy shit from these people, that's better for me. Right. So yes, I am sponsored by several people and I do get commission whenever you buy things. It doesn't cost you anymore. In fact, you save money when you buy stuff. So the dealer loses, in Slap's case, he loses 20% because he's got to give you 10% off and then give me 10% on the sale. You see what I'm saying? But I keep him busy trying to keep stuff in stock, which makes a difference. That's how this all works. I don't try to hide anything. I deal with Slapz because Slapz is wicked cool. The people are awesome. The product is awesome. The prices are awesome. There's no way to lose. So yes, that's the answer to your question. I do not own Slapz. And I am not a dealer, although I definitely could be. And I might be in the future. Who knows? But yes, I definitely am a promoter, but not a owner, or a dealer, or an owner. Let's see here. Going down through here. I'm gonna buy a special charger. No, you do not. You don't have to have a special charger for a LiPo 4. It's basically just any battery charger or anything that produces like less than 14.8 volts, but more than 13.3 volts. So anything between 13.3 and 14.8, it can be a freaking phone charger. It can be an alternator. It can be another battery hooked up to it. It does not care. It does not care. Just any AGM charger will charge that type of lithium, LiPo 4 lithium. Okay. There's no specialness to it whatsoever. You just put the power on it and it picks it up and it sucks it up. Done. The only variable in changing from one battery to another is how much of voltage it is. Like some batteries require a higher voltage. You need like a volt higher than what the battery rests at to really charge it. So some batteries may have, require this much voltage to charge them, but not more than this amount. That's what that charger will dictate what will charge that battery. It's not like it's pulsing magic or doing loop-de-woos or loop-de-loos or anything. It's just how much voltage you're giving the damn thing. The voltage is the key. It's always the key. So just use a regular old generic. You can buy them for $10-15 off Amazon, or just hook the damn thing up to your vehicle like you would any other battery and go. You're done. It's not complicated. Not hard at all. If you're going to bring it in, if you're going to take it out or whatever, if you're going to set it somewhere, put it on a trickle charger. Like the little, like one of these guys. This little thing right here. So I don't have this one hooked up yet. I need to. This is an old one. This is one of my little weak ones. See, it's got the little cables on here, and it's got a regular old plug. You just plug this thing in, hook it up. Bob's your uncle. Done. That's all you need. And that thing's like $8. It charges at like 1 to 1.5 amps. It's basically like a battery tender. It's just an $8 battery tender that's not weatherproof in any way, shape, or fashion, but it does exactly the same stuff that a battery tender does for $8. So there. What is your go-to demo track? Ooh. Well, I have a few right now. I will show you one of them. This one.
It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear, and it absolutely will not stop, ever, until you are done.
That is one of them. I've got a whole list that I put up. If you guys want to know what I'm doing on my YouTube channel, I got a playlist called Demo. What is it called? Let me go back and look. Got to get it right. Got to make sure I get it right because I'm dumb. Dash. I know I'm dumb because my wife tells me. She tells me. She lets me know. She's a very helpful person. She often tells me how dumb I am. Actually, she doesn't. She tells me she doesn't think I'm dumb. I'm just joking. She might think I'm dumb, but she doesn't tell me that she does. Here we go. Now, 100% she'll tell you I'm annoying, aggravating, and a whole lot of other stuff. The playlist is called um, Demo Bass Music. This list is I'm curating it carefully. It's just stuff that I've created that I like to run because it doesn't get copyright claimed on videos. If you guys run some of this stuff on a video, just shoot me a message and let me know so that when I see it, I'll just dodge it and I'll okay it, and you won't get any copyright claims. But and you probably won't anyway. But it's good. It's good music. It's a lot of good lows in there. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job of putting together some pretty cool bass tracks. One of my go-tos right now is Incredible Hulk. It's got a really good build up, and it just drops on the chorus. Just absolutely comes unhinged on the chorus. Prior to that, though, El Fuego, one of my favorite bass tracks was a rebased version of Knife Party Centipede. And I like that one. That's a good. It's got a long build up and it's got a real good drop. There was one more. They kind of change. Marcellus, Country Boy Love Song. I think's the name of it. Is a rebased version of Marcellus Country Boy Love Song. That's another one that still gets a lot of plays because that. I like playing that one with the girls. It's got some good wind in it and gets the hair flying. It's got a nice groove to it. It's an easy to listen to track. Eric Smith. I'm running my entire vehicle and a Synergy SYN 6.5K at a quarter ohm on a 72 hour of sodium 320 volts, charging 14.8, idling with the air on at full wang hang. I've never seen a 14.4. Solid. Yeah, okay. 72 amp hours of lithium. That will do that with a 320 amp alt. That's a solid setup, man. 100%. 100%. Blown Fuse said, Basic Garage, I'll make some videos. Yeah, I need one of those damn things. I got to get the watt meter. I got to get the watt meter. I mean the SPL meter. I got the watt meter. I need to hook that up. Yeah, that's getting hooked up too. By the way, my watt meter is going to get hooked back up. It's only going to be running on 1 amp though, so we're going to have to like double it. You know. Term Lab. Yeah. That's what I was trying to remember. The Term Lab is what we put it up against. I got a video comparing them and showing the scores that I got. And yes, I hit 26 hertz and my freaking closet door opened up in the carport. But the day before, I hit 24 hertz and all the shelving in that closet fell down. And that is a huge disaster out there right now. Big, huge mess. There's screws. Dude. To tell you how screwed up this is, and a pun was intended. You know the big old huge boxes of 16 penny nails that you see on a job site when they're building a house? That big huge like 50-pound box or whatever. Had one of those about half full of screws. They are everywhere. And this shit is real. The struggle is real. Okay. The mess is intense. That closet is going to be an all day damn project. I've got to reconfigure that because both my shelves just collapsed off the wall and shit went everywhere. That's what happened with 24 hertz in the carport. Stupid that thing hit so hard. Um, Guy did like AB 160 average and a kick on a 92nd average. Guy did like a 160 average in the kick on 90 seconds. Damn, son, that is intense. Um, to hold a 160 for a minute and a half, boy, that's rough. I'm impressed. I've watched most of the other videos, but I have not watched the one to see the stripper pole gave me more dB. Yes, it did. Substantially. 150, 155, about 2 dB so far. That's what I've seen from it. About 2 dB. And now thinking back, when EXO did the same, almost the same identical pole, and Lil Blue, he got it right at 2.1 dB gain. That's what he ended up gaining from it. And I'm right at 2 dB also, in a completely different vehicle with a completely different system. Yeah, so maybe 2 dB. You know, from a wooden pole. Yeah, baby, we do it with wood. It's always got to get wood, man. D Herman, Deep Eric Smith. D. I didn't either. YouTube. Yep. See, my brain just went. My mouth is connected to my brain. When it goes haywire, the mouth does too. My suggestion isn't going to be the crown favorite. I said look into LiPo 4. Stay away from CMAX and LTO. I love sodium. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, I'm not a fan of CMAX. LTO is fine. The only problem with LTO is it's bulkier and it's really expensive. You're not getting as much for your money. LiPo 4, and if you've got some magical connection to get some lithium or maybe some sodium that's working for you, you know, those are good choices. LTO is that's what the rich people have, and it takes up a lot of space. The cells are bulky. And CMAX is really power dense. It's like the most power dense out there. You can't get any more energy in a small space than you can with CMAX. But boy, when it gets out, if it gets out of its little space that you got it crammed into, it's going to go, man. It's going to go like the wind. It's going to go. CMAX is very violent and very aggressive and very hot whenever it fails. And it fails more often than well more often than other stuff does. But it's also the most power dense you can possibly get. I don't like it. I respect it. I know what it's capable of, but I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't even want it to be parked beside my vehicle when I'm at a show. I park away from CMAX. I would rather be parked next to Headway, tell you anything. And I don't like Headway either. Let's see. DJ Dirtbase was out at Wake the Dead. Yeah, I didn't do that this year. Next year, I'm hoping to hit a few more things. I'm going to try. I may even try to hit the new Slamology spot up by Ohio, up by Cincinnati. Maybe. I don't know. But I'll be definitely hitting Wake the Dead next year. And I'll be definitely going to finals, like in Cincinnati next year. And I may go to another event or two. The Slamology is so damn big and I'm not a big fan of being around a lot of people at one time. That shit gives me all kinds of like nervousness issues. And I'm like, anxiety. I want to run the whole time. I'm sitting there kind of in panic mode all the time. Like I need to run. It's like for someone who's scared of spiders, being in a room full of spiders. You can stand there, you can keep yourself, but you're ready to go. The moment one spider looks at you crazy, out the door you go. That's how I'm around big crowds of people. Not a big fan of that. Um, so yeah, I kind of needed a different option from someone who's been doing this stuff for a while. Thank you. No problem, brother. Let's wait. Yep. Almost an hour, and I just got here. What's going on? Nice that you could join us, Red Pill. Let's see here, Joseph. Play the video. Oh yeah. Hang on. We're gonna take a risk. We're gonna go out on a limb. Gonna go way out. Man, I still got Stu sent me a message. Oh, there's more stuff going on there too. Stu. He's not here to give me permission though, so I can't jump on there. Russell. I'm gonna get in that. Dustin. Yep, we're gonna have to do that. I saw so many messages. Oh my God. You people love me so much. Where's it at? There he is. Okay. Let me go back up here. Let me go. Oh, that's one I sent. You guys have seen that already. All right. Where is it at? Right there. Yep. Okay. All right. So let me get that right there. Okay. All right, guys. We're going to show Joseph. This is Kid in his vehicle. I'm going to pull him up here. Bear with me a second. We're going to switch that thing over, and we're going to do this. And I'm probably going to lose audio, but I'll get it caught. Just hang tight. So then we're going to do that. We're going to do that button there. Share. Doop. Okay, audio is good. Hopefully this audio is good too. We'll see. Here we go. I don't know if it's going to have audio. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Y'all like that? I will give y'all give y'all a little hint of what I want to show y'all a little sneak peek here. Maybe of what I'm working on. And I find it. Oh, that's a crappy sneak peek. Yeah, that ain't even worth showing you. I'll have to pull up. I'll put up a few pictures in the on the page on the you know what I'm talking about. Damn it, y'all know what I'm trying to say on the YouTube page forum thing. I'll put up some pictures. So you guys will get a little bit of a heads up about what's going on. Let me get this back up here. Let's see. I love it, dude. It's good. CAE is closing in on 65,000. What am I at? That's not it. What is wrong with you anyway? Don't you understand how things work? Sheesh. You pushed the. Okay, yeah, I'm at 63,701. Yeah, baby. You guys are awesome. A whole bunch of awesome. Big old huge pile of awesome. Oh, we got questions. Oh my God, I got comments to answer. I don't want to drag y'all into that. Let's see here. Okay. I come here every day for gyms before I start the big build. Hey man, I just drop what I got. Sometimes it's a turd, sometimes it's a gem. But you can learn from both of them. I try to keep it honest. I I show all the stupid stuff. Sometimes I make stupid mistakes. Like today, we put the power cables on the lithium, and I was crimping one of the connectors because I had the power cables on so that I could get the runs right. I needed the cables like connected. Kind of slipped up, and I had my big old crimper sitting there on the back of my Tahoe, and that hitch that the tailgate lock. I hit the back of that sucker with the back of my crimpers, and a big old huge boom and spark shot, and my boys both scattered. They scattered like the cop popped in. Guys, hey, we all do stupid shit. We all make mistakes. And they scattered like cockroaches, man. Shit. Boom, gone. Like ice, hit a bunch of Home Depots or something. 65. Yep. Thank you, Cracker. Cody said, is there any benefit to exceeding subs VAS with a ported enclosure? Usually, no. I have found when I'm designing and the results of designs, following the manufacturer's recommended specs on a box is usually a good call. And I either follow that, and this is the way I do it. This is the way my brain works, okay? Based on how much power you're planning on putting on this setup, I'll look at their specs. If I'm going to be running much less power, or like 1,000-watt sub at 500 watts or whatever, and I know that's where the customer or the person is going to be running it at, I'll design the box a little bit extra big, maybe 10 to 15% bigger than specs. And it usually performs quite well. On the other hand, if I'm going to be pushing the RMS power or maybe more, I usually drop back to the very minimum size that they say, and I might even take a tiny bit off of that because it'll handle that high power better. And it really comes down to what the subwoofer is designed to operate in, and how much power they're going to be putting on it. Because you can put a lot more power on a sub in a small enclosure, and you're going to get good performance out of it if you've got enough power, right? On the other hand, you can take a big enclosure and with a little bit of power and get similar frequencies and stuff out of it. Not as loud, but similar frequency range. So it's all about how much power and all the rest of the stuff. It's a whole lot of shit to keep in mind, but no. Let's see here. Could be vastly better, Cody Miller. Yeah. Yep, sometimes. Let's see. Cody Miller. Fuego. Ha 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 ha. I've heard exceeding bass can allow you to hit lows better. Makes the subs less efficient. Actually, it makes them more efficient. So yeah. But yeah, it's that you're basically on the right track with your thinking. The tighter you restrict the subs, the more power you can put on them. The looser they are, the less power it takes to get them to moving. But you can't put a whole lot of power on a loose setup, or you're going to just slam the voice coils into the motor and you're done. You have paperweights, or at least you're going to be buying Recons. Tahoe has come from far. Now all you have to do is look at it. It's fire, it's higher. Yeah, baby. The Tahoe is a constantly evolving machine. And I've got I can't wait to hear this system with these new batteries. And do apologize for a moment, guys. I do need to take another break. So bear with me just for a moment. I'm going to let y'all watch some more of this thing. Oh, I appreciate it. I do apologize. Like I said, those medications are working on me pretty hard. And whenever I got to go, I got to go. Or else no more water comes out of my system, and that's bad. We got to keep the fluids moving. Got to keep the fluids moving. All you old people like me, you totally understand where I'm coming from. And for you young people, I hope to hell you never have to understand where I'm coming from. Let's see where we are on the thingamajigger. Do. Herd exceeding vast can allow you to hit lows better. Yep. Bobby. Bobby said I got a skeeter on my Peter. I hate that, man. But that, you know, that skeeter's got the Rona now, so at least you get payback, right? Uh, jamming, baby. Frank, what's up, Frank? Frank said, "How's everyone tonight?" Digging low. I don't like some of the changes YouTube made. Sir, I don't like a lot of the damn changes YouTube made, man. They have broken a lot of stuff, and it is what it is. It happens sometimes. We all do it. Yeah, the sparks. Yeah, no doubt, dude. Um, my fourth is on the small side, and I'm pushing the 16K on 4 cheap VXF15s. Doing good for now. To the rebuild for the flat wall. I really like my flat wall. I was absolutely going to a 6th. I was going to do six Oblivion version 2s in the 6th order. That did not work out. Financially, it did not work out. Again, this is my only job, so I don't. My objective is to pay for everything that I need to run this channel, to pay for my own stuff and mine and my wife's relationship, and to be able to give her some money to help with bills and stuff every month. And I managed to do all that. Okay, off of what I make on YouTube. But that does leave my budget limited. So we worked the first year. It was no money out, period. It just all went back into the channel. Every penny I make, and I still invest a lot of it back into the channel. That's just how this works. It's just a business. You got to do what you got to do. So, but I'm a fan of the flat wall. Amps are 2 of the Slapz Shock 8Ks at 1 ohm each. Now, man, I can't recommend them enough, dude. They're like a $300 amplifier for 8,000 watts for $300 ish, and they're solid, they're reliable, they're consistent, they sound great. What the hell else do you want? The Shock 8K is a nasty amplifier. Maybe I'll put something together, man. Slap baby for the win. Yes, sir. Question, Joseph. Whoops, let's see here. Joseph said, "What brand of power wire do I recommend?" I'm about to swap it to something different. In my opinion, I did an extremely long video where I tested and abused a whole lot of power wire. Give me a second. Yeah, I got like three videos on this. And that was great. But let me look here. Where's it at? What was that other one? I wanted to show y'all something. Because this is what the show's about, That's not too bad. That's a long video. Well, I'm gonna pull this one up, and then I'll just I'll scrub some of it. I'll scrub through it. Let me get this pulled up. All right, hang on here. Here we go. We're going to switch over to the going to switch over to the thingamajigger here.
All right, guys, this is how the test rig is going to be set up. The timer is going to be here. The gun's going to be here. And it is setting very close.
Yeah.
I can just barely put my finger between here and here. So we're going to be able to get very close to this wire. Should be entertaining. In the lineup today, we're going to have Stinger alt gauge. We're going to have Sky High Car Audio alt gauge. We're going to have New Concepts Colossus alt gauge. We've got Temco welding wire alt gauge. We've got Sundown alt gauge. We've got GP Car Audio America Series alt gauge. We've got Windy Nation welding wire. This welding wire. Can't think of the name of it right now. We got that. And we've got GP Diamond Edition alt gauge. All of these are going to get tested.
All right, before we continue, so you see the list up here. Going through this video, what I was doing was testing the melting temperature of the jacket on these wires. Not necessarily testing it scientifically, as in finding out what temperature it melted, but I wanted to see which of these wires failed the quickest, which of them held up the best. And I also did an abrasion test in another video where I checked the abrasion of the jackets. Because let's face it, the copper wire is copper wire, right? More is better, but beyond that, there's plenty of people out there that have tested the weight of the copper and compared them. But what I was more interested in is how tough is the jacket? That's the thing that protects your car, right? So, I'll just tell you straight up that car audio wire, none of the jackets are worth a piss. None of them. The jackets are all terrible. Of all of them, the GP America Series has got a reasonably tougher. It's the toughest of the sucky jackets. It's got a really good jacket. It's also got a really, really good wire content. So if you're wanting specifically car audio wire, the GP America wire would be my recommendation. However, if you do not mind running welding wire, I wholeheartedly 100% recommend the Flex Whip. And here's the reason. Amongst all of them, like the Flex Whip, the Windy Nation, the Temco, all of those performed extremely well in the heat department and the abrasion department. The difference is the Flex Whip is actually soft. So it's as soft as New Concepts wire or close to it. It's really bendable, really easy to work with. But it also still manages to have a ridiculously high melting point on that jacket. I never got it to melt, and I puddled so many. If you guys haven't seen this video, this is a killer video to compare wire to. I kind of abused a whole lot of wire in the making of this. I'll show you a little bit about, let me scrub down through here, show you some of what we got in results, provided the thing works. This is what I did was after I melted it and tested it, then I used this piece of plastic and tried to puncture the wire. I wanted to see if after it was good and hot, if it took very much to tear it up, how much pressure it took, how bad it fell apart. And all of the wire pretty much looked like this after these tests. And of course, whenever I used the tool on them, that's what happened after the tool. So it was pretty tore up. Now this right here, I'm showing this is where we're testing the That flex whip is right there, and I've got it. I get it out after testing. I am poking it and jabbing it with scissors and picking it up. It will not damage. This is after I got it and I smashed the crap out of it with not just the plastic thing, but I used, while this thing is hot as a fire, you can barely touch it. You can't hold it. It's too hot to hold. I took the wire cutters and I smashed the crap out of it with them. And I never got this wire to fail in any. Let me see if I can show you another shot. That's the plastic things. I was getting ready to smash it. Where's a good shot of afterwards? It doesn't. Here we go. If it'll show this shot. Now it keeps showing that. Maybe if I go up. Yeah, that's the amount of damage I was able to do with those cutters. It's still a solid protected wire. And that flex whip is cool. And here's a little shot of a bunch of the wires as I was comparing them, and that's not it. It's a little bit past that. You can see how the wires were failing. So it's a good video. It's got a lot of information in it. And one of the ones, that's the flex whip. Or no, that's the Windy Nation. This is the flex whip right here. That's the damaged flex whip. Look at the difference in that and that other stuff. So that's the car audio wire back there. And you see how bad it's jacked up. All got, and the thing is, I gave the welding wire, I gave it a whole lot worse treatment. It did all the stuff that the car audio wire did. And then I took it to the next level testing it. So it was so far and beyond, there's not even any competition between the two. If you're going to run a wire in a high heat area, by all means, I mean 1,000,000% run welding wire. But if you want welding wire that can handle that heat and still give you a nice, soft, flexible jacket, flex whip. That's what you're looking for. Now, I know I answered the shit out of that question, but that's how I do things. My wife hates it. She says I'm a crazy person. Crazy person. But I just keep it real, man. I'm not, I just do what I do. I do what I freaking do. Now let me figure out where I am on this. All right, that was Joe. Play It and Live It said, now you're getting new batteries to feed the hungry beast. Technically, they're used. But, they're new to me. They were in the Mad Scientist vehicle. He ended up doing some stuff. He wanted more of the same thing, and that wasn't available because that line's no longer there. So he ended up doing some different stuff, but he had those two batteries. He was going to sell them. And I told him a long time ago, I said, if you ever get rid of those batteries, make me the first person you call. Bet. So I was. I like them. And we're about to put them to work. Give them something to do. A little something to do. Yeah, baby. Digging low. 3 boxes for my 12W7. And I'm not happy with it. I need to dig lower. Any help from anyone? Well, you got the right name. I can show you some starting points. I'll give you guys some starting points. Help you out. Let me get over here and pull this thing up. This is my go-to problem solver right here. So, see how this works. There you go. So, you go over here to Subbox Pro. Okay? That name right up there. Subbox Pro. There's a lot of different ones that are very similarly named. This is the one I use all the time, and it's free. It makes a lot of nasty complications real simple. So, if you go to Subwoofer and select one, there's a real good chance that your sub will be in here. And you said the JLW6, is that what you said? W7, my bad. Let's see here. If you don't have it, you can use a generic model. My letters are falling out of my head. Why are my letters not in my head? Okay, there we go. JL Audio. And I believe, I don't know if this actually helps or not, but we'll hit calculate. And I think. Yeah, so that's setting up a box based on the perimeters that I already given it. So you put your box in, your width and your height, and it gives you a depth. This is the internal volume that you need for your setup, whatever your setup is. You put that in, and I don't know. I have to look up. I don't think it actually worked for the finding the brand thing, but put in your net internal volume, and it's going to show you your total when you get done right here, which is the difference between the net and after you remove this stuff, the ports and shit. So anyway, and then 0.63 is a 3/4 inch, single front panel, whatever you need. Then you go over to port, give it the kind of port you want. So we did pipes quantity 2, but you can do a slot port or whatever. Set in your frequency that you want to tune it at. Tell it what size pipes you have or slot port. If you do a slot port, it asks you for your port area instead. All right. And you go down here, it'll tell you what your port length should be. And it also tells you what your displacement is. But when you hit calculate and you go to the box, it's going to tell you what the net volume was. That's after displacement. See, this is before, that's after. Okay. When you get done designing the thing, you can go over here and click on plan, and it will literally give you the cut sheets right here. This stuff right here is literally what you go cut. You go get 2 of these, 2 of these, 1 of these, 1 of these, and 1 of these. And then you follow this instruction right here and put it together. The thing is a brilliant little box designer. It does not take into account your till small perimeters, though. That's the crux of it. So it's a good starting point. Another good one to have in your playbook is 12volt.com, car audio, box calc ASP. You get to this thing right here, this page, and it's got a ton of little calculators. You can do a port calculator right here. You've got a slot port and a round port calculator. You got a volume calculator for a square, volume calculator for an angle box, a volume calculator for a partial angle box, even a volume calculator for a cylindrical box. You got your wiring diagrams, gives you your ohm loads, explains that stuff for parallel and series. Right here, if you don't understand that, you can use this damn thing and it can tell you exactly what your ohm loads are going to be. It's got a converter to convert from inches to decimals. It's got all the stuff. This is a really, really good handy tool. And I keep it, it's literally on my bar all the damn time. That's why I'm able to just open that tab, because I use that shit all the time. That's my recommendation, is go there and learn stuff. Let's see here. Joseph, if we look into them, I took a screenshot of them. My brain doesn't work like it used to. Oh, God. I don't even have a brain. I use my wife's brain. Yeah, our brains are parallel, man. It's like, yeah. I'm the creative half and she's the organized half. And we make a whole person together. Tyler said you need a box tuned to 28 hertz and a huge port for the W7. I had a W7 in my vehicle for about it was 1 day. And I didn't take it out because there was anything wrong. I just, it was a loaner. I was working on getting the box built, and we were building it and working on it all night. And it was like late as shit. And I wanted to go home, but I didn't want to go home without bass. So I grabbed my buddy's W7 in a box and threw it in the back of my Tahoe and hooked it up. And that's how we roll, man. I just walked over there and said, I'm taking this. Just a freaking field thing, put it in there and hooked it up. That's what I rode home on and come back the next day. I was actually impressed. It sounded really good. It wasn't loud enough. It was just, that was the box it was in and the power that I had on it. But it sounded great. Yeah. Tyler said a 148 with two 12-inch W7s on less than 2K. I had like 500 watts on that one. It was just, I just hooked it up, man. I just wanted some beat when I was driving home. I couldn't leave without bass, man. It was going to hurt my feelings. A big 5-inch port with 70 square inches of port per sub. Whew. Sounds good. See, there's some advice, man. That's why I tell everybody, look, if you got something you're trying to learn, something you're fighting with, problem, broke, things don't do things. You know, the rigidity doesn't rigidity anymore, and you need to find out why. Ask in chat, because even if I can't answer the question, somebody in chat is most likely going to chime in. That's what we do. This community is hardcore like that. So by all means, ask. If you're watching this as a video later when it's not live anymore, ask in chat. Ask in the comment section. I read them all the time. I read comments constantly and answer those comments. I will do my best to answer. If I don't know, somebody else might. So just drop the comment down there and let us know. I got my ultra. We're doing the word thing again today. I like trying to, I could read past this, right? But I'm not. I like reading typos. Typos are fun. Sometimes I can't make no damn sense out of it. Most of the time I can. But we're about to have fun with this one. I got my ultra compactor today. Yesterday. I had my ultra compactor yesterday. Hope I'll be able to see a difference. I'm running 2 stock batteries, stock alternator on 2 Scar Audio 15s and a 3K amplifier till I upgrade the whole system. Let's see. Assuming that you've got 200 amp hour batteries, you may be getting 1 to 200 amps, probably closer to maybe 150 amps out of that. With the cap, you can add another 50 amps. You're probably seeing about 2/3 of the power that 3K can make. But having said that, music is dynamic. So if you're running it at, full tilt boogie, you're only actually probably pulling about half to 3/4 of the amps. So yeah, you're not quite there. You don't have quite enough power, but you're not terribly far behind. You'll probably still see your headlights dip and stuff like that. You would do really well with that setup to get one of the Big Jeff lithium batteries. If you can't afford to do the 5K, if turn to lithium, the Big Jeff lithium would be a solid amount of power for that setup. It would give you the things that you're looking for, and they run about $300. I don't know exactly, but I should look that up because I haven't. It's been a while. It may have changed. Let's see here. Should be on this page. Well, it's taking so blasted long to load everything. Okay, so yeah, the Big Jeff lithium is 22 amp hours of the same cells that we're using in the current lineup of Trunk Thunder lithium, but it's got half the cells that the 5K does. And let's see here. So here's the battery right here. This one is a good battery. If you're only running 2,000 to 3,000 watts of amplifier and you're wanting to do something that's not going to go crazy and cost you a ton, you could go buy an AGM battery, or you could buy this. This will actually fix the problem. The AGM battery will probably not do anything toward fixing the problem. These are good little batteries, and for the price, like I said, you pay a little bit more for about half of what you get with Trunk Thunder lithium, but If you don't need the support for 5,000 to 8,000 or 9,000 watts, you just need to support 3,000 watts. It says it'll support 6,000 watts. That is bullshit. Don't even think about that. But it will support 3,000 watts really well. And so, yeah, this will be my recommendation. Use discount code CAE to save money on that purchase and help me out. But yeah, I would push this guy here or the Trunk Thunder Lithium 5K version 2. Now that's the 10K right there. If you go to the Little Banger series, go down here. This battery right here is exactly 2 times the Big Jeff battery, but you'll see that it's not twice the price. It has twice the cells. It literally is 2 Big Jeff batteries in one. That's what it is. But it also has a really nice medical grade balancer in it too. And I don't know about the Big Jeff battery as far as that. I know it's got a functional balancer and it works, but I know that these are pretty intense what he puts into these things. So, and it says it supports 6,000 to 7,000 watts. And that's what we're talking about. That's real numbers. That's off a stock alternator. With a little bit of a bigger alternator, you can get 10,000 watts out of this. So it's a great battery. But if you can't afford to go this route, then going with the Big Jeff battery is going to get you half of this battery, for less money. And for a 3,000 watt setup, that's totally fine. And I wanted to show y'all something. So the charging on this guy is 13.3 minimum to 14.8 max. That's important. I'm just going to go back. The 10K is what I'm running, but I've been running. We'll see if we can get that stupid thing to work. My internet, my browser has been fighting with me the past few days, not wanting to load pages. Like right now, it's just spinning. But yeah, that's the thing. Anyway, this guy here would be a solid choice. Hopefully that was good information for you guys. Hang on, let me see. But yeah, I hope so too, man. It might work out. I don't think they're going to quite get the power that it's capable of, but you're going to be in the ballpark. You're going to be 75, 80% of it, I think. And you could use a little bit more, a bit quicker bouncing stuff. I'm almost done with my bill. Where did that just go? It just left. Oh, I just need a box to install. My Kenwood radio. Sweet. Almost done with your build, I guess. It said Bill. Bill! Only a bill. And I'm stuck up here on Capitol Hill. I know there's some of y'all out there that's going to be like, oh, I know that song. Yeah, conjunction, junction, what's your function? Hey, you guys. It's all I'm bringing back all kind of memories to you old folks. G-Body said, you get it. Hell yeah. So much sanding, Harbor Freight. Why don't I use a straight edge guide for my cuts? So much sanding. Because there's a whole lot. There's a whole hell of a lot of small reasons why things get like that sometimes. But a lot of times, and we're like, when we're working with a whole lot of different circumstances, sometimes things just get a little bit wonky, and your options are limited, and it's usually easier just to sand the damn thing. That's just a thing. I'm going to get a better router. I'm going to get a big router so I can do a lot more routing stuff, and that solves a whole lot of problems. But we're working with what we got, and sanding builds character. I'm gonna I'm going chunk thunder for the upgrade. Yeah, I honestly I can't I can say I did. That's what I've been running. Um, you know, and I've had people offer, like, I mean, guys, I'm gonna tell you, I've had companies offer to send me free lithium, tons of free lithium, and to do spots for them. If I can't honestly say that this is some solid shit, I'm not gonna. It's not gonna be something I promote. Um, and I don't have. I've seen some of the big name stuff that everybody hears about. I've seen it fail, and I've seen it fail pretty badly. So I don't recommend it to anyone. I don't talk shit about anybody. So I'm not going to give names and all that stuff, but I've seen some big name stuff that's real popular fail catastrophically. And I can't get behind that. You know, I've also dug into how they're producing the products, and it's just not that impressive. So I don't get behind that either. That's just how I roll. I don't care. You can't buy my loyalty. You can't buy my opinion. You know, it's not going to work. Not going to do it. Get two of the trunk thunders because I'm running two 8K amps on my subs. Eventually, I'll have the amps trying to choose my subs. Yeah, if you're running two 8Ks, I would run two. You can get by with one 10K version 3, but it's going to be really close. If you're running burps like tones and stuff, and you're actually going to give it a load for a long period, yeah, you want to run two. Run two. Just do it and be done with it. You know what I'm saying? Fuego. Fantastic. You have a good night too, Fuego. Schoolhouse Rock. Yeah, baby. That's what's up. So that's it. What do you say? Digging Low said, "Are you a Newport man or a Marlboro man?" I am a cheap ass 24/7 red box man. Yeah, I'm a Marlboro man. Definitely a Marlboro man. I smoked Marlboro Reds for the bulk of my life, but we get these a whole hell of a lot cheaper. They're like less than $30 a carton. So they taste good and they're cheap as hell. So I'm going with that. My favorite cigarettes though, I can't find them anymore. And some of y'all are going to laugh the name. They're called Black Death. Yeah. They're black. They got skull and crossbones on them. But they have an extremely high nicotine content, like stupid high nicotine content. So yeah, you get a buzz. I've been smoking since I was like 11, 40, 50, 45 years, something like that. And I still get a buzz off of them. They sell the Black Death. They sell them in roll up tobacco pouches with papers or as cigarettes. And I've gotten a few packs here and there, and I was just, man, these things hit hard, dude. Great smokes. Yeah, Rick Ross, I think he's a full flavor kind of guy. For real, man. I'm not a menthol guy. I smoke a menthol if I'm jonesing hard and I ain't got one, which literally never happens anymore. I will smoke a menthol, but I don't like it. I suppose if I was going to smoke one, it'd probably be, I kind of like, it's something strong. The Cool is stronger. The Newport was always a little bit lighter of a taste. The Cool was just a stronger cigarette. So I'd probably smoke a Cool if I was going to be that. I like that. I like a stronger, more aggressive tasting cigarette. Diggins said he's a Newport man. Well, yeah, man. I mean, shit. If I could go back and tell my 11-year-old stupid ass self to not do that, I would do it 100%. But my cousin had this girlfriend who worked at a freaking like a little gas station, and she stole him a carton of cigarettes. It was actually a carton of generic menthol cigarettes. She stole a carton and gave it to him, right? His girlfriend. So we're all sitting out there in the barn talking shit, and he busts out this carton and passes out packs to everybody. We're all hadn't ever smoked a cigarette before in my life, and we're all smoking these damn menthol cigarettes. And that was the worst mistake, the worst decision I ever made. I managed to avoid all the drugs and all the other stuff, but that was my addiction, and it is what it is. But I was like 10 or 11 years old when I started. Of course, after that, I was smoking we all smoked Marlboros. Everybody smoked Marlboros. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, that pipe tobacco is good stuff. Handing out the candy cigarettes this Halloween. Neighbors hate on me. You would. Packing my cools, he said. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, El Fuego's messed up, dude. Y'all are fun. But guys, I want you to treat each other right, treat people right on the internet, do the right thing, do as much as you can to help your fellas, your neighbor, show love to the people around you. Don't show hate, don't show mean. Love solves all kinds of problems. Don't be hateful and mean to people, man, no matter, even if they deserve it. Showing love is going to always get a better result than reciprocating a mean comment or a mean, hateful thing, and share the love and share the comments, share the likes, share my channel, and be good to each other. And y'all have a good night. Let's get the duck out of here.
Are getting loud, you can feel the booming sound. Getting ready to go. Got it shined up for the show. Hours charging, amps are amping, gonna let the woofers blow. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust. We got more at home. Another one bites the dust. Eyes are glowing and the amps smoking. Subs are cherry red. Let me keep jamming, gotta keep the bass slamming. Gonna go hard till they're dead. Full power, gotta let it go. 20 hertz in the floating air. Sparks are flying, voice cords are frying, and the smoke is in the air. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust. Hey, we got more at home. Another one bites the dust.